Okay, now we're going to hear from our race winner, today's 14th annual Kroger 200 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series race here at Martinsville Speedway, and our race winner is Denny Hamlin. He drove the number 51 Toyota for Kyle Busch Motorsports. He's joined up here with Rick Wren, crew chief, and this is Denny's second win, both of them in the truck series. Both of them come in here at Martinsville. And, well, it was an exciting race out there today, Denny, a lot of action. And, you know, they say winning breeds winning, so I got to think that this win here today give you next few hours thinking pretty positive thoughts about the race tomorrow. But congratulations on this win today. Talk about it if you would, please.
Yeah, it was obviously a great day for us, and you know, kind of taking our time getting to the front at the beginning. I thought we obviously had a race-winning truck on the long run, and then the second run, our truck wasn't quite as good, and I think a couple guys got a little bit better as well. And we had to tune our truck back to where it was the first run, and obviously it took off again. So proud of the adjustments and the opportunity to run for Kyle and Rick. And obviously it's always great to get a win, and you know, especially with the circumstances that we have for these next few weeks in the Cup side.
And Rick, just talk about it's a big win for your all's organization here today. Anytime you get to victory lane, certainly, but it's got to be a big deal to win this race here today.
Yeah, it's been really good for us here, Kerry. We've had a little dry spell this year, and it seems like we've had a kind of a monkey on our back across all of the divisions. And so, you know, Denny did a great job starting from the back today and showing patience. And like he said, we made an adjustment and got him off a little bit and brought it back around to where it was his liking. And just a great day for all of us. And I want to thank, you know, Joe Gibbs' organization for helping us out with some pit crew members, and I want to thank Triad for their engines, and thank Denny, and I'll thank Kyle Busch Motorsports for giving us the opportunity to do this.
Very good. We'll take questions now for either Denny or Rick. If you have one, raise your hand, and we'll get the wireless mic to you. Questions? We've got a gentleman right here on the front row. If he could get a mic. Thank you.
Denny, Charles Work Star News. I noticed that I think it was Matt Crafton that came up to the car to say something to you. Can you tell us what he was talking about?
He was really happy about finishing fourth. He was excited about it, and no, it's just you know, what do you expect? I mean, you're the leader. It's a few laps to go, and if you rewind a tape from Cup in 2008 or 9, I think I was in that same position, and Jimmy Johnson pulled that same exact move on me, and we got the bad end of that deal. But it's just when you're the leader with a few laps to go, you've got to expect. You're at Martinsville, you can't wreck the guy. That's off limits. But moving them up and out of the groove, that's standard protocol at this type of racetrack. So, you know, for us, I tried to run him clean into one. I gave him a little bit extra room because I saw he had been sliding up the racetrack, you know, driving in too deep and sliding up, and he still came up and shot us up in the third lane by not holding his line. And so when I went into the next corner, you know, it just showed my displeasure and got into the back of him, got him up the racetrack. But I would have done that anyway. It didn't matter if it was that lap or one to go. So I knew that it was important to get the lead as soon as possible, simply because with these restarts, the outside line just was not preferred.
But when he gets up in your face like that, is that kind
I was really scared.
Mm-hmm. Other questions? Reed, you have one? Yeah. Reed, and then gentleman in the back. Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Denny, would you like to see an excused absence from drivers' meetings so that you don't get into a situation like this, having to start at the back when you're running another series?
I mean, I don't know. It would be like our 1,000th drivers meeting. You know, I don't know what things don't. You know, race procedures don't change that much. But I mean, I understand where they're at. Things do go run a little bit different in the truck series, and so it's important to be there. But with the rain that happened, and obviously our draw for qualifying, we're going out last. You know, I just. There's no way I could give up 15 minutes to cup practice. It was already shortened anyway because of the rain. So it just made no sense. And I felt bad for these guys that possibly you cost yourself a win. But I had to do what I had to do to make sure I was in the right position in the Cup Series, because that's what I'm here for. Obviously, I want to give these guys a good run, but I've got to do everything I can to make sure the championship is still an option for us.
Let's go back in the back. We got a couple. Go ahead.
Barry, Richmond Piedmont Broadcasting Corporation. Denny, you started from the rear, worked your way through. Of course, you're here today as the winner. How difficult is that? Well, would that be in a Cup race? Looking at tomorrow for some of the ones that the points it's on the line, but they're starting further back. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's some of the same. I mean, I felt like we had a really good truck the first run. Thank goodness, because it did go green long. And I think if you have a car, it will be very similar to that. You'll be able to make up positions. Obviously, in the Cup Series, the amount of good cars is really a higher number, so it's going to be tougher to pass. But you're going to have a car that is substantially better than the field to really mow through them like we did over here on the truck side.
Go ahead, sir.
Denny, Damian Sordelette, Danville Register and B right here in the center. You've had last year you had a lot of runs in these lower tier series where you won races and were able to take that to the next day and do really well in the Cup Series. Your late model race at Richmond, follow that up with a nationwide win, finish second in the Cup race. You come here to Martinsville, win that one, finish fifth here in the Cup. How are you hoping to translate this into tomorrow, where you can take what you learned today and hopefully run up front and get a win tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be important. The setups are nothing alike, and so you can't take that part of it, but you can take the strategy. You can look at tire wear and say that we pitted it with a certain amount of laps, and over here on the truck we ran this many laps before you pitted, and see how the cycles went at the end. So I think that's something what you can learn, but other than that, not a whole lot translates, other than the techniques that I use personally around this racetrack applies to both series. So for me, it's just more laps on the racetrack and continuing to learn to be better.
Let's go ahead, sir. Right over here to the right side, then we'll go to the press box. Go ahead, sir.
Andy Markey with Race 22. Obviously, Virginia is your home state. Is it as satisfying every time you win a NASCAR race here in Virginia as it was the first time?
Absolutely. It really doesn't matter what series. It's always a big thrill. And for me, somewhat of a bigger thrill because these guys hadn't got into the win column on the truck series yet. And so it was a big deal for me and them. And I know these guys work really hard, and Kyle works really hard to get this program where it needs to be. And so you just, you come in hoping that you can make a difference. And I think we did that today.
Let's go to the press box question. Go ahead.
Denny, Adam Hainsfurther, Danville Register and B. How's it feel to win another one of the more unique trophies in NASCAR with the grandfather clock?
Good. It's our sixth one, and that's going to be awesome. We can start spreading them out through the family and everything now. So it's good to, I remember struggling to try to get my first one, just a few short years ago. So it's been a great racetrack for me, and obviously this is the track where I've got the most laps and experience on. So it definitely shows up with the experience, and we'll just keep going to get about 20 hopefully before I retire.
Okay, front row here. We got a question. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim Utter, Charlotte Observer. Denny, you mentioned earlier about not wanting to give up the 15 minutes of track time. Why do the race? Some people would say, well, you're still in the thick of the Cup Championship. Why for you? Why would you do the race?
I don't know, because I feel like I don't know. I don't know really.
You don't see negative, in other words.
Not really. One thing is that I do feel like there's merit to working your technique at this particular racetrack. Now, other racetracks where there's higher speeds, you drive the two totally different. It's not even the same. Between the Truck Series and the Cup Cars is the two most similar two races that we have on any track, I feel like. So this is the closest to a Cup car is in simulation as it can be, and so I think that this is one that I can continue to just stay fresh with how I continue to drive this racetrack.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Neff from FrontStretch.com. I noticed during the race there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity to pass on the outside. Martinsville's always been pretty much a one-groove racetrack. Is there any scenarios if two cars tomorrow are even remotely close to each other that you can get by somebody on the outside here?
No, not unless you have fresher tires. It definitely won't be. And for whatever reason, these cars and trucks push extremely bad in that higher line. So it's a challenge. It's a big, big challenge. And obviously, a lot of guys will be trying to time themselves to be on the inside line for these restarts. So it's going to be very important that you're counting your positions and making sure you're an odd number either coming out of the pits or when a caution's about to happen.
Any other questions? Denny, Rick, congratulations. Big win today in the Camping World Truck Series. I know how hard you guys work over there, Rick. And Denny, congratulations on the win, and good luck tomorrow in the chase.
Thank you.
Thank you.